February 25th, 2:21 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 9. We're in the home stretch, everyone. Wigglytuff's got some words of encouragement. First off, excuse me. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Ahdurin region. I'm your host, Ahdurin himself. We're in the home stretch, everyone. Wigglytuff got some word of encouragement down there. Follow those rules if you want to, follow those rules. It's up to you. Let's go. We got Emma back, which is great because, Gumshoe, I'm not sure how much help Gumshoe would be.
Now then, will the defendant, Miss Lana Sky, please take the stand?
Miss Lana Sky, you are the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you. But, Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all that I've done these past 2 years.
Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Sky. And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth.
Of course, the truth. I'm actually really curious what's going to happen here, if Lana's going to actually tell the truth or not. Because that could be interesting to see. Oops, almost knocked into something. Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister. All right.
Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Kent.
Everything hinges on your testimony. You're the only chance we have to get Gant. Come on. Emma, can you give some random words of encouragement or something? Gant and the fabrication, here we go. I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. Crap. That's not great.
Are you sure about this testimony?
Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course, I'm sure. But Lana!
If this is true, then that means Chief Kent has nothing to do with this.
That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me. Emma, throw your notebook at her. Maybe that'll help. What if she's telling the truth? She's not. I know my own sister. Are you reading my thoughts? Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony. Well, that's a great sign. Glad to see that screaming in agony is exactly what's happening. Yeah, this is no time to start second-guessing myself.
The defense may now bring its cross-examination. Begin, begin it, whatever, you get the gist.
Gant in the fabrication. Here we go. I worked alongside Gant for years. We're just pressing everything. Let's go. How many years exactly? Ever since I made senior detective. Let's see, I was 24 then, so that would be 5 years.
Detective Gant and Detective Sky were legendary partners. I personally saw them testify in numerous cases.
Must have been good, coming from the same school as Mia. Damon Gant was a respectable detective. That's why. This isn't quite Lana's voice. I gotta get into it. There's no truth to this blackmail thing. But think about it, Miss Sky. You didn't murder Detective Goodman. You told me as much yesterday in jail. You still don't get it, do you, Mr. Wright? Any testimony you cannot present in court is as useless as idle gossip. I stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. And? You fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by yourself. That can't be true. Did you do so to help your sister? Joe Dark was a serial killer. My sister almost became his last victim that day. I didn't want that incident to ruin her life. But what she did was justifiable self-defense. She wouldn't have been charged with anything. That's not the point. She was traumatized that day, all because of that creep. That's why I couldn't forgive him. Lana?
So that's why you fabricated the evidence 2 years ago.
I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. You said you did this all by yourself? Yes. Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene? It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken prosecutor's award knife was stuck in the victim's body. What? Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident. That's only a situation you dreamed was possible. The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change this statement. You mean, Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Dark? Something like that. If that is so, what happened to the other murder weapon? Dark was carrying a switchblade knife. Oh, that was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle. It's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up her lies with more lies. Well, just to protect me. Emma, go slap your sister or something. I don't know. We're going to extremes at this point.
So when you found the scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to.
Yes. Broke off the tip of the bot. That's a new statement, right? My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. Yeah, this is a new statement. All right, let's go through this. You planted the tip of Dark's knife in the victim's wound,
And then you moved the body.
but why? Why would you do that? You of all people should know, Edward. You've always had a good head on your shoulders. My head isn't that bad, but maybe I'll have to ask for the sake of the others. Yeah, why'd you move the body? That's a weird question. When you showed up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body? It was where you deduced it was, by Chief Gant's desk. But the body was found by your desk. Or the body was, yeah, Edward saying. Why did you move it there? The reason for that is simple.
Let's have the witness explain this in more detail. The reason Miss Sky moved the body.
Pieces of the jar that shattered during the evidence threatened my plans. Threatened. Okay. Let's press on this then. This is a new statement. Pieces of the jar, you mean... Yes, that wretched jar you showed us earlier. In order to show that Dark committed the crime, I felt it would be more expedient to move the body. So... when you first found the body, the jar was already... Of course, it had been shattered to pieces. If you looked at the crime scene, it would be clear right away what happened. Neil Marshall was dead, and Drake was lying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have been broken during their struggle.
I see.
What's the matter, Emma? Apparently the jar shattered at the time the crime was committed. But I have a feeling there's more to it than that. There must be a contradiction here somewhere. Anyway, I committed this fabrication completely alone. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted, and then we're gonna go to this line here. So you rearranged the crime scene. Are you sure you didn't do this to keep Emma from looking like the murderer? How many times do I have to tell you, Mr. Wright? Emma didn't do it. Period. Are you so desperate to hide that fact? You're willing to risk the death sentence? She's lying. She did it so I wouldn't be blamed for what happened. In any case, as a prosecutor, what I've done is unpardonable. There's nothing I can do to make up for my actions. Mr. Wright, my sister's lying. Yeah, it looks like she's determined to protect you to the end. She insists she fabricated the evidence by herself. There's no way she could have done it alone. Gotta get Lana to talk more. If she's lying, then she's bound to slip up and make a contradiction. Alright, we're back at the beginning. We're gonna show the pot. The jar, whatever this is. This feels very obvious to me. Where's the jar? Here. Oh, wait. Here we go. Show the jar. Miss Guy, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister.
You mean the forgery at the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered?
That truth was to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I am compelled to bring everyone's attention to a significant contradiction within your testimony. A contradiction in my testimony? You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan." That's right.
Do you have a problem with that?
It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on this jar with the victim's blood. Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments. Exactly so. And this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, it must not yet have been broken before he died. Ah. He couldn't have written Emma's name on a shattered jar. Watch.
Order!
Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regard to this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here. Something critical? Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're as in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we're heading. What? Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth.
Very well. The witness may now continue her testimony.
Alright, here goes something. Jar and message in blood. I immediately noticed the blood tracings on the jar, but it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered.
You mean you were the one who wiped away the message in blood?
I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence.
Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination.
The jar and message in blood. Alright, let's see if we can get some additional information here. Immediately notice the blood tracings. So the jar was already broken. It's a miracle that thing hadn't broken earlier.
It certainly looks as feeble as the defense's case.
As feeble as the judge's judgment. Get him! You were an ace detective who never missed a detail. Do you really expect us to believe you didn't investigate what was written on the jar pieces? Normally I would have, but it was dark, so couldn't check it out. So you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar? No. If I had known, I would have gathered all the pieces and ground them to dust. Well, that helps my case. Lana, you do that for me? Emma, not that. Seems you two might make up yet. Anyway, I just barely had enough time to move the body as it was. If something happened upon the scene, you'd lose your chance to erase the evidence. You must have been in a hurry. I was. I knew I had to destroy the evidence before anyone came.
This is rather shocking.
Yeah, no kidding. To be safe, you wiped away the blood. I'm afraid this action of yours reveals what really happened.
What do you mean?
If you really thought Dark killed Prosecutor Marshall, you wouldn't have wiped away the blood. What else could I have done in that situation? Lana, I only had a few moments. There wasn't enough time for me to do anything else but gather up the pieces. The fragments were large, so you sure you got them all? Okay. But how could you see with the power out? It should have been pitch black in that office. A detective is always prepared, Mr. Wright. Even now, I always carry a pocket light and camera with me. Even I carry a bottle of emergency luminol wherever I go. Emma, how many bottles of luminol do you have? I never miss anything. I got every last piece. Well, I think I was wiping them away. Something about that seems weird. But let's continue on. So you illegally rearranged the crime scene? Yes. I don't have any excuse for my actions. I'm so sorry, Lana. I didn't know. I've treated you so badly all this time. It's not too late. Still plenty of time to make up. After we've gotten to the bottom of this incident.
No doubt this day will leave a permanent stain on the history of the prosecutor's office.
More contradictions have surfaced in her testimony. Your sister's really putting up a fight. She must really care about you. Still, she's not doing this the right way. I think I finally figured out the contradictions in her testimony. There's one final possibility that might turn everything around. Notice the blood tracings on the jar. Okay. Fragments are large. I'm sure you got them all. No, you didn't. I'm almost positive that you missed a piece. Because I distinctly remember Oh, can we examine this? Hey, look here. It's hard to make up with this dark red stain here. Looks like blood. Piece the chief has is different though. That's that centerpiece right there, on the top screen. The blood stains are just spots, but this one's alive. That is odd. There you go. I remember that detail from previously. There's one piece that you're missing here. Miss Sky, I believe this jar conceals a truth even you were unaware of. What? We found the final piece of this jar in Chief Gant's safe. In the chief's safe? But how? I knew it. She really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was still blood on it.
But the witness just testified how she gathered every last piece and wiped the blood off of them.
Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation. On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first one to show up on the scene. Chief Gant got there before you. Crowd, crowd, crowd.
But couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece?
Objection!
Hold up, no. I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective who basically got every other piece.
That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures. They were in my mouth all along. Can you believe that?
Objection!
Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken.
Oh, that.
There's no way a name could have been written on a shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness.
I hope you're not implying this person was Chief Gant. At the time, he was looking for Dark downstairs. Besides, even if he was there first, why would he break the jar?
Objection!
Oh, we're rolling now. The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide that fact for 2 years?
But...
Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that?
No. No!
Why is the judge so broken down about this?
Wait, I'm not the one on trial here.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering as well. Damon Gant arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar and purposely hid one of the broken pieces. Question: what is this action called? Well, if I had to guess, I'd say fabrication of evidence.
But why would Chief Gant do that?
In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear?
What happened afterwards?
Discovering the scene, Lana Sky believed her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Dark, sparing Emma. And therein lies the reason why Miss Sky became the chief's puppet. No, I did it on my own. Please, sis, stop trying to protect the chief. I can't watch you suffer any more for my sake. No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend their clients. Foul lies? Imagine that coming from my own client.
I guess you do seem the type to like to twist the truth.
Judge, are you calling me out? Wait a minute. What if we're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap?
Something wrong, Mr. Wright.
Lana may be right after all. What do you mean, right? So you do tell foul lies then, Mr. Wright? No, not that. Miss Sky, please testify once more. But if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie. But I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall. Miss Sky, if you will. I can't. There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there's a possibility that it will, if you tell the truth. Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw.
All right, the witness may testify once more for the final time.
The actual crime scene. This is the final time. This might be the last one? I'm not 100% sure yet, but we're going to leave that for the next episode. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening, watching, and supporting the Ahdurin region in any way, shape, or form that you do. Next time we end the game, maybe? Till then, take care.